Hello folks, it's Lance from JR Jeep. It is a lovely spring day. We're in the 40s, so pretty cool. I'll show you some pictures where I'm at. I'm actually at a boat launch in Muskego, near where I live. It's on Big Muskego Lake, so pretty cool place. Looks like the channel is clear and people can get out, so that's rather good to see. I'm sure people will be using this pretty shortly. So today I wanted to do let me rephrase that. I wanted to do a recap, but on items that I've installed quite a while ago. So when looking back at my installs so far, that dated back until 2022. One of the first things I did after I got the Jeep was install a front bumper. So we're going to go over some of those early installs and just look at how they're doing, what I liked about them. Are they still meeting my expectation? I think that would be good insight for people who are looking to do their own updates, maybe with some of the products I'm using, maybe with others, but I'll share with you where I got them from, and that may give you some basis of where to look when you're upgrading on yourself. So let's get at it. So one of the first things I updated on the Jeep, as I mentioned, was the front bumper. I found this one on Quadratec's website. This is their own brand. It is actually called a QRC winch ready bumper. And I'm sure you can understand why it's winch ready. It did have to cut out a plate for a recessed winch mount. In this case, I have my open road put on there. What I like about this has held up extremely well as it's my daily driver. The black powder coat on this has not been done up and rusted in spots, which I find really nice. I haven't really had to touch it up. I do have to do some maybe update to it. It's got a couple faded spots. I don't think that's much more paint than accidentally I got some wax on it, which you're not supposed to do with those. So that's the first one. So let's go around to the back side of the Jeep. So this is Extreme Terrain's Red Rock full width rock crawler rear bumper. This does have a trailer hitch mount on it. That is one of the reasons I bought it. It was integral into or integrated into the bumper itself. So really like that. Why it's not made by the same company that makes my front bumper, I think due to the nature of the tubes on the outside and that it does match up pretty well. So I was really happy with that. If I was to share anything in relation to bumper installs, and this goes mostly towards the deal of, are you installing them on a new vehicle? Are you installing them on an old vehicle or one that you've had for a while? Take that into account when updating. If you have all the proper tools and a little time, getting the bumpers off shouldn't be that difficult, but I would definitely suggest an impact gun, a stronger one, or a heavy duty ratchet that has some capabilities. Or you can do what I did with the second bumper, which worked out well. So you may ask, what did I do? Well, Quadratec QRC bumper I did myself. That took most of the day, just to get the bolts unsnugged on the front of the Jeep. Even though I put lubricant in that on, it took a while to get those off. And a couple are not in easy spaces to get at. This is a 2015 Jeep Wrangler, so you can take that into account. Might be changed on some of the newer models. I did get it on, no problem, once I got the old one off. The old one predominantly took most of the day. So take that into account. What would I do otherwise? I would do the same thing as I did with the rear bumper, which is basically I had to take it in for some minor maintenance that I could have done myself some mechanics I deal with in the area for a long time, not just on Jeeps, but on my other past vehicles. They've been very good with me and my family, so I like to give them business, and that's AA Tire in West Dallas if you're ever interested in finding them. When I went in, I actually asked them if they could just loosen up the rear bumpers, rear bumper bolts while they were in there, because I was going to replace the bumper after that. And they did that. That was fine. They even did the old hook that was back there. One thing of note, bumper bolts came off super easy. That was a blessing. The hook bolts, though, because they're into the frame itself, once I got them about a quarter way out, they all seized. Thank goodness for a neighbor of mine who came home a little after I was in that dilemma and had a Sawzall, and I was able to get those off. So that's just something of note to keep in mind when doing that, because how that rear bumper goes on, there's long L brackets that are screwed out that go by the holes where you mount the other holes for the side, and then there's bolts in the back by the trailer hitch to mount that and to snug it up securely so you got plenty of weight bearing there. The two other things I'm going to talk about are basically the fenders. So Jeep fenders, as many of you know, are generally plastic when you get them. Some prefer to run them. I have no problem with that. I just did not like the look. When I looked online, there were so many variants of that out there. I took a while, but my front ones actually are by Nemesis Industries. They're aluminum. They did come with the mounting kit in that for it, and they do securely mount. It does take a while. You do have to drill out some holes. You will need a step down bit too to mount some holes. They give you the guides. Just keep that in mind when you're putting them on. The rear ones I got through Eris. I just like the look of them a lot, and I actually got their fender liners as well. This was very easy to install, much easier than the front one. There is a couple holes you do have to realign for the mounting. Make sure when you put on new fenders or drill out new holes that you coat them with paint to keep them from rusting before you install the new hardware. Lastly, we're going to look at one thing inside the Jeep. And I think this was not only one of the more cheap installs I did on the vehicle, but probably something that added a lot of value, and that was headliners. When I first got the Jeep, of course, it did not have them in it. That was a pretty cold winter, as I bought the Jeep in late January, early February, somewhere around that time, and it was a cold winter. Without that insulating quality, believe it or not, that those can provide, you do have a lot of heat escape, and it can take a little longer for that to basically heat up. So also on the flip side of it, during the summer, it does protect it quite a bit from excess heat building up in a Jeep. So let's take a look at those quick. Hey folks, a little change in locale, sorry about that, but when I went through my video footage, unfortunately the last part of my video was omitted. I must have accidentally hit the button, so I did still want to follow through with showing you the headliners that I installed. So we're going to do that now. So you can see them in the Jeep. I got some of my stickers on them. These are very good for sound isolation and also for heat retention, but also for keeping the heat out during the summer. So well worth it. There is a back liner as well as the rear liner as well. Install of those was pretty easy. There's double-sided tape attached to them. However, I will tell you on that center portion of where you go above the speaker area, you might want an extra set of hands. and also in the back because there's a bigger piece that you might want to exercise hands to put them in. I did do it myself. You could also do it with taking the top off, which would make it quite a bit easier, but I didn't have that option when I installed mine. Like I said, really a nice addition to keeping the vehicle warmer during the winter and also keeping it from getting super hot during the summer. That's actually probably been one of the biggest things I've noted of it. So well worth the price. All of these things I've showed you today I will put in the descriptions below so you can find them yourself, and I hope you found this beneficial. If you did, please give a thumbs up. I really appreciate you stopping by and looking at my content that I'm sharing out for you, and look forward to my upcoming videos. I have quite a few installs that I'm going to be doing. One which is sitting behind a Jeep right now, which is actually a rear cargo area replacement. Now that the weather is getting nicer, I can get out and do some of those things I want to do. And I do have some trips coming up, namely the Jeep Jamboree is coming up in July. I do have a Tigerton trip, which is OHV Park up in mid-Wisconsin I'm looking forward to do, and I want to do the 7-hour plane crash trail. That's a few to name some of the things I want to do. So again, till next time, have a great day. Look forward to seeing you on the road. Bye-bye.